Hey everybody, welcome to the scene. It is Friday. What is today? The 8th of
It is.
January?
It is, yeah.
And before we do anything else, Steve Buttram is here. Noted Alabama fan.
Yes, a native of the great state.
How
Alabama.
about the big Crimson Tide last night?
Roll Tide roll?
Yeah.
Roll Tide roll.
Even I've even got Chad saying it.
Yeah.
Chad's got that weird orange and blue combination going today too. Have you noticed that? Just jump in front of the camera real quick, Chad, so people can see. It's not.
It's
weird
almost Auburn
per se.
even.
Oh no! Oh, don't say that. Ooh.
I mean, it's a nice
My
tie.
UT. That's not much.
Yeah,
UT color.
okay. Well, anyway, but Roll Tide, we were real proud for the SEC last night.
And what was funny is I have a shirt rotation, as you find it hard to believe. And I'm sitting there watching the Texas game last night and realized I have on a burnt orange shirt.
Really?
Yeah, but it worked
Not
out,
good.
so it came out.
By the way, folks, Steve Buttram and Larry Hoyle are here from NewWave Communications today. So glad to have you guys with us.
Thanks.
We're going to talk about what's going on with the AT&T thing and all of that, and maybe some updates that have happened in the last 24 hours and some things that are going to happen on Monday. But we don't want to get too serious too early. You know, I posted something last night, SEC rules, because Alabama won the national championship. Kentucky's going to win basketball 1 year, both championships.
Hey, I think it's a great plan. Go Big Blue.
So there you go. So I actually saw one divorce starting last night because of the game. There's a local couple here who the wife is an Auburn grad. She used to work here. Okay, you'll know who it is. But her husband posted, go Bama or something like that. And she wrote, of course, being an Auburn fan.
Sure.
She's put, do you want a divorce?
Nice.
Which probably worked to his advantage. He probably figured out that's what he needed.
Well, you see the House divided things with UK and UT.
Right.
That doesn't happen in Alabama.
Yeah.
No, you'll get disowned and lose your driver's license.
Although I know someone who's, a lady I know whose husband's a banker. She's an avid Auburn fan, and he took a job in Tuscaloosa.
Ooh.
So they're there at Bama headquarters.
Wow.
So,
I'm sure somebody's walking around with their hands in their pocket trying not to get anything on them.
yeah.
So.
Well, it's Friday. Glad to have you with us today. I just feel weird because they changed my seat. I'm usually in a much taller, and just I feel like a little kid.
Well, we always get the same chairs
Yeah, we
when
always
Larry
get
and I
the
come.
same
So,
chairs.
Yeah, well,
That's
okay.
the same.
It's all right. All right, well, let's talk about what's going on, guys. Today, let's see. What is the latest? AT&T, there's been a compromise with the city or some such nonsense? Or what's
To my
going on?
understanding, what happened, and it's on the Kentucky Arrow, the front page today.
All right.
The AT&T sat down with the city attorney and the mayor and worked up an agreement, and they put it before the Cable Advisory Board yesterday at 3, correct? Yep, at 3 o'clock. Hour 10 minutes later is my understanding that the Cable Advisory Board rejected it unanimously. So what that means now is that same agreement goes to the city council, and they vote on it Monday night at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Well, today, I mean, and we will have details on a lot of this tonight on news, but today, Senator Joey Pendleton, who had a press conference supporting new technology in the area, and and that they worked hard to be able to get broadband and a lot of things done. I don't think anybody argues new technology.
No, not at all.
And bringing new things in. And all that, and then I had to find it very interesting. There was the press conference, and then there was the press release that came in a few minutes later, and then about 20 minutes later, here comes the AT&T press release urging, the people to call their council
Hopkinsville,
people.
call your city council. Correct.
So which I immediately started doing, because from a selfish standpoint, because what the AT&T mantra is, vote for a choice in
Hopkinsville.
In Hopkinsville.
Right.
And my thing was, if you're voting for a choice, if you choose AT&T, you're choosing to do away with local programming, because we're not a part of that. And so I called Senator Pendleton, and he was surprised to know that, that they're not including us as a part of that package, and had some interesting comments on that. But this thing goes before the council Monday night.
Monday night's a special call meeting at 6 o'clock, and there's a lot of talk about new technology and new this and choice to that. There's always been choice.
Yeah.
Drive through any part of town, you'll see a gray satellite dish hanging on somebody's house that proves choice. We don't service every customer. We don't strong arm customers. We're in a competitive market to this day. will continue to be so. We know that AT&T will eventually come to Hopkinsville, and we look forward to competing with them. However, we have all sat through the Cable Oversight Committee meetings. I've been here since the inception of NewWave,
Right.
minus 10 days. Excuse me, and it's been a struggle, but it's been something that every oversight authority member has been passionate, and I can't say that word enough, passionate about what they expect from their provider.
Right.
And I mean, even Jim Gleason, our president and CEO, he spent almost a year prior to the deal being done sitting down with the oversight folks and saying, what is it you want? What is it you need done? And again, let me use the word passionate, because we've had some
That's one way to put it.
We've had some passionate discussion, in those meetings, and we've done everything they've asked us to do. They have, the last meeting I think you went to, I didn't even go, and it was like 7 minutes long.
Yep.
And it's because we comply with what they've asked.
Interestingly enough, I got an email from Sykes today where a gentleman had called in and spoke to a call center here locally in Hopkinsville and wanted to speak to me. So, and I called the customer back, and he said, I'd like to know what this AT&T thing's all about. I said, what would you like to know? He said, why don't you want AT&T in town? I said, it's not that I don't want AT&T in town. I want them to abide by the same rules that we do.
Right.
He said, well, what does that entail? He said, I don't understand that. I said, well, my franchise says that I have to serve the entire city of Hopkinsville.
Right.
Not just the higher end neighborhoods, not just ones I want to pick and choose, but all of Hopkinsville. Number two, I have to answer calls locally 85% of the time. 85% of the time, bearing no disaster or anything like that, I answer calls locally here in Hopkinsville. You're speaking to somebody right down there on Marie Drive. That's where you're speaking to. And there's all these other contingencies. If a new neighborhood gets built in Hopkinsville, there's 16 homes within a mile. If it's in the city, I have to build it.
Right.
I have to serve that. So, and that's just a few of the major points of the franchise, but there's a number of others, and we have to abide by those. And so, my thing is, AT&T, you want to come into town. You knew about this since March of last year.
At least.
The law gives you 90 days to apply for a franchise, and it doesn't cost you anything. It merely says that you will sit in front of the Cable Advisory Board, you will negotiate this, and it's a written, living document that you abide by.
Well, we'll come back and talk some more about all of this. I'm going to do weather here next, but I want to tell you about my reaction this afternoon in my conversation about us as an entity, and of course, you guys are cable, we're broadcast, and sometimes the twain do meet. And we'll talk about some things that happen there. But we'll be right back. You're on the scene. It is Friday. Weekend's here. Stay with us.